Welcome to Endor. So I stopped at the Grizzly State Park in the, I think it's called Cheatham Grove. Either way, I've been here before, but this time I get to film it the right way, the way I wanted to. So, this is where they filmed the speeder bike chase scene from Return of the Jedi. A lot of the Endor forest set that they filmed, all the Ewok scenes and a lot of the principal actor scenes, that took place about 2 or 3 hours north of here and is no longer with us. So it's been destroyed, logged out basically. So, but what's cool about this place is this place was always a state park. So it was protected. And back in the early 80s, they had to do that speeder bike scene. Originally, they were going to try and do it with dirt bikes. But of course, dirt bikes don't float on air. And it was nearly impossible to not have it be jostling. The whole idea of these speeder bikes was they floated. And they moved at incredible rates of speed. So what they did was hired the man, Garrett Brown, that invented the Steadicam. Steadicam is basically what I'm using right now. Everywhere's got one now. But he had invented it back in the late 70s, and Garrett Brown came out here with Dennis Murin to this set of woods, and for 2 days, they walked around this grove of trees, filming at 1 frame per second, with the idea of it, when it was sped up to 24 frames per second for the film, it would be this smooth, really, really fast experience. And they used that as the plate, if you will, to put all the effects and action on top of. So the cool thing about it being a protected park is that several of the landmark things that you would notice in the scene are still here. Probably the most famous one, or the most recognizable one, would be the Luke and Leia pass right behind me.
Quick, jam their comlink, center switch.
So they call it the Luke and Leia pass because when Luke's on the back, Leia's driving, she's flying after the scout trooper. He flies over this. They duck under, and Luke ducks his head back and looks back at it. There's also a reverse shot right over here. There was a reverse shot later on where the bikes come through and then take off into the distance. Right under and off into the distance. So they flipped around and used it a lot. So as you can imagine, being in nature, a lot of this stuff has been overgrown. But again, there's still a couple of them that are intact. Now, I'm moving kind of fast because this is 5 hours away from north of San Francisco. There's no easy way to get to it. So of course, as usual, just like the first time I was here, I'm losing daylight. But just like the first time I was here, and I don't know why it is with this place, there's never anyone here. Like, there's clearly a hiking trail that goes all the way through it, just like I'm sure it was when they were here filming back in the early 80s. But no one's ever here. And it's gorgeous. I mean, come on, look at this place. It's a sanctuary. I mean, these giant trees. And just like Endor, because this is where it was, those fern forest floors. It's very unique to here. You can just imagine all the Ewoks popping up slowly, surrounding Han and the droids after they all got cut out of the net.
Yeah, it's a very long go!
Decision from the Fed today. Economists expect Chair Jerome Powell to announce Fed is
It's very easy to imagine it because it might as well have been filmed here, even though it was a couple hours north. So there's a scene right when Leia falls off her speeder bike. The trooper that's chasing her looks back, and then when he looks forward, it's broken down a little bit, but this is the big stump that he hits and explodes against. Now, obviously, weather for the last 40 years has definitely started making it shrink down, because it was a little bit taller, but the insides have rotted out and it's starting to collapse. So, but this is it. Man, these trees are just gigantic. It's like if Wookiees were trees, which makes sense of why they would have been a Wookiee planet in the original concept. It's so quiet out here. These trees are so big, they just suck every bit of the noise up. So the other really identifiable spot is right here. It's been in art pieces. It's been in, obviously, the movie. But all it is was a simple swivel shot where basically the speeder bikes all come through and then turn around these cross trees and take off. It's unmistakable. As soon as you see it, you recognize it. I say that being a giant Star Wars fan, but I feel like, yeah, it's probably just big fans that would recognize it. But either way, it's still pretty cool. I mean, what's funny is that was 40 years ago they filmed it, but these trees have probably been this way for 10,000 years. I mean, who knows? And they're still just, wedged up against that one tree it fell against. And it just never went down to the ground. And then this tree fell on top of that. And they're so big and heavy that nothing's dislodged it. It's just stayed that way. Well, I'm on top of Luke and Leia Pass. I'm not gonna lie, it's a little slick up here. And I just realized, if I fall and break something, well, I'm dead. Because the only thing out here are bears. And I don't mean just me. I mean actual bears. This is called Grizzly Forest for a reason. Anyway, this is pretty cool though. And this isn't weird. You can actually get up here. There's names carved all over this tree trunk. So it's pretty neat. It's still here. It's not going anywhere. It's probably going to be here for another 1,000 years. Who knows when this tree actually fell. The bark has definitely all been, I guess, rotted off or shuck off or taken off by people over the years, because there was still a lot of bark on it in the actual movie. So maybe it wasn't, maybe it had just fallen in the last few years, back in the early 80s when they filmed it, who knows. But it's pretty cool, man. This is absolutely in the heart of Endor, and you can come see it anytime you want. There's never anyone else here, ever. I feel like I was here 3 years ago, and there hasn't been anyone here since I was here. That's how it looks. It's crazy. I'm sure that's not true, but either way, it's pretty awesome. If you like this video, hit the like button. And if you made it this far, go ahead and subscribe. You obviously like this stuff. So watch me as I try to get off of this without killing myself. Coming up didn't feel this bad. God, I'm an old man. Clip, clap, clip, clap. Yes. Bye now.